Hey folks, for my 666th review, I have received multiple requests to do something truly terrifying. So I've thought of a couple of different figures that I could review. No. No. No, not Armada Hotshot. He sucks, I will admit that. But it's nowhere near as bad as what we're taking a look at today. So, as you all know, the number 666 is the number of the beast. So, we're going to go literal with that definition. Today, we are taking a look at one of the worst Transformers to ever bear the name. Today, we are taking a look at Beast Machine's Nightscrem. Nightscrem is an Ultra Class figure released in the year 2000. Now, I did pick this up at BBTS. I think I got this guy at BBTS. It was either that or a Walmart. I honestly cannot remember, but I got him when I was in college. And yeah, he's definitely an interesting figure. Primarily molded in blue and brown. He also has translucent orange and translucent blue. It's one of the only figures I can actually think of that has this kind of scheme to it. Now, overall, the bat mode is poor. He's got a massive wingspan of about between 16 and 18 inches. It's a big set of wings, but the rest of the figure just isn't attractive to look at. It doesn't look good in any of its modes. Its face is ugly. It can't look forward. And the directions are such that I have no way of how it's actually supposed to be transformed. I know that sounds weird, but according to the directions, in several different panels, this back part is either supposed to be in the front of the figure or the back of the figure. I think it's supposed to be in the front because this orange piece looks like a tail. I'll show you that here right now. What I was referring to is this section right here. Now, it looks like this is supposed to be a tail section. So let's say we turn it around. That means he has his spark crystal in his crotch in bat mode. And then this orange section would be the tail. Well, it doesn't work in any way. It just doesn't look good at all. He has a clear translucent butt, and he has a translucent crotch. Why? Why would the developers do this? Also, the instructions have his arms positioned in a variety of ways. They can be positioned like this. They have them also positioned up like this. I also see them in the very end of the directions positioned like this. That makes no sense to me. This figure does have a gimmick in this mode, in his beast mode. The first thing we're going to do is fold his head up so that he's looking forward. Then we're going to reach on his back and pull out his disc launcher. Yes, this thing has a disc launcher. Now, a lot of times with the disc launcher, it's very difficult to pull up because when you pull it up, it reveals this little hinge right here. Now, when you can turn it around so that the LED that is there lights up his eyes. To show you, I will turn my light off. See? His eyes light up. Let's cover up some of the light coming in. Yep, see? Light up eyes. And then as you turn the disc launcher, his head is supposed to turn. It doesn't really work all that well. So the disc launcher does fire, but you have to bend the head down, and then push it in. And sometimes it fires, sometimes it doesn't. You have to open it up and just kind of fiddle with it to get the discs set. There we go. One. And that's it. I only could find 3 discs. So the discs are very, very similar to Depth Charge's discs, which, oddly enough, I have Depth Charge right here. So here are Depth Charge's discs, and here are Nightscrem's discs. As you can see, they are pretty much the same. In fact, you could probably interchange them completely. In fact, you can. That sort of worked. Now, these discs are actually a little bit bigger. I'm being facetious. They are actually just a hair wider than depth charges discs. So this is his one gimmick. His other gimmick in beast mode is a kicking gimmick. So in order to show you the kicking gimmick, the first thing we're going to need to do is make sure the arms are positioned correctly. And they need to be up here, kind of like small bat shoulders. Then we need to make sure that the bat mode is able to stand up. Yes, I said that right. Straighten out the legs like we have here. Then we're going to take the arms and unpeg the bat wings from the upper shoulders. Take the arms and make sure they're either at 90 degrees like this or just gently at a gentle degree. Then take the wings and fold up the tips of the wings and then turn the wings around completely. And then fold the wings in like this so that they're pointed in. So do that on this side, fold it in, and then this is where things get stupid. See these claws at the end of the wings? Fold them out and open up the other ones like that. So take these guys, fold it out, open it up, and then spread the wings again. And do the same thing over here. And then take the legs and point them straight out like this. And then use the wings as stands. So the way the directions tell you to do it doesn't exactly work. And what I mean by doesn't work is the figure doesn't want to stand all that well. So you kind of have to just play with it until you can get it to stand on its own in this weird swinging attack motion. I don't know about you, but I've never seen a bat do this. Have you? Now, he is supposed to be able to swing, but all of the joints are far too tight in order for him to actually swing. So he ends up pretty much collapsing into the ground. You could, I guess, go in and remove some of these ratchets, but I don't think you should. I think you should just leave him alone and just forget this mode ever existed. According to the directions, this is the beast mode. Not what I started this video off with, but this. Completely standing like a vampire bat. Man. Thing. Man, bat, bear, pig. So, yeah, I don't see how this doesn't cause nightmares. Transformation for man-bat thing is actually not too hard. To start off with, we're going to start with the feet. The first thing I like to do is collapse the legs so you actually have knees. Then the next thing you're going to do is take these middle claws and pull them out from the feet. Flip them around, and then they will fit into sockets in the back of the leg. Now, this is an issue which I'll talk about later because this is supposed to form heels, but it kind of doesn't. So I'll talk about that in a bit. Next, what we're going to do is, this is going to get a little weird, so try and follow. What I like to do is I like to fold the wings down along the hands, and then we take the whole arm section and unpeg it from the side of the body, and just get it out of the way. And what we're going to want to do is just get these translucent shoulder pieces out of the way and off the body, so that this translucent orange piece is exposed. Then we can take the bat legs and pull them apart and fold them up and over, turn them 180 degrees, take the bat head and point it forward, and then bring them over the bat head like that. And then we turn the figure around, and what I like to do is take the bat ears and point them up along the robot body. Once we do this, we can then bring the arms back and put them in the correct shoulder location, like this. Then we take this whole upper torso tail section and spin it around. Now, what we're going to do is actually pull the bat ears back down and pull out the disc launcher again, because you don't have to do this to transform him, but if I'm going to show you the gimmick, I need to. So we pull that up, twist it around, make sure it doesn't get caught on anything, and then push the button in and point it back and slide it in so that the launcher is pointing, the button is pointing outside of the back. Next we fold the top down to form the head, and we take the back and hide that. So there we go. And we're done. Nightscrem in robot mode isn't awful looking, but it's just a rehash of what we've been looking at for the past couple of minutes. It just looks like it's a Batman mode as opposed to a Man-Bat mode. The face is definitely Nightscrem. I mean, if you've seen the show, you've seen this head. Even with that stupid hair flop that was supposed to be popular in the 90s. He does have light piping, though it's okay. It's blue, like the rest of him. Overall, the figure in robot mode is kind of ugly. It's not pretty. It's not really useful either. It doesn't look horrific, but it's not good. And I did not expect that to get caught on my backdrop. As I was saying, proportionally, it's okay. It's not a bad robot mode until you start to play with it. If he's standing straight, he looks okay. And the toy looks like an adult version of the character. That I'm not complaining about, even though the character itself is really annoying in the show. He does have a gimmick in this mode, which I'll show in a second. It's the launcher in his chest. But overall, the overall look isn't awful. I mean, with some different paint, it could actually be pretty cool, and a different head sculpt. Posability in this mode is rough, and the reason is because as long as he's standing up, he's okay. As soon as you start trying to pose him, you run into problems, and the chief problem is he has no heels. I mean, he has no heels. If these orange pieces were folded down and actually supported, it would be okay, but he doesn't have any heels that work. Now, you can fold these heels up into the legs like this, but then he really doesn't have any heels. So, posability-wise, his head doesn't move at all, because if you try to move the head, you move the whole section. Arms are the exact same posability you get in Bat mode. Hands, you've got some grabbing here that you can open the hands. Okay. Legs, same exact posability. Ratchet, you've got some knee articulation, you've got some foot articulation, but you've got to keep him kind of oddly bent forward for him to stand. Because if you don't, and you try to actually give him an action pose, he's going to fall right over. For the gimmick in this mode, what we'll do is lift up the chest and then just push on the orange section in the back to fire the discs. Now, that is supposed to work. Doesn't always. So you lift up the chest and then he starts firing blindly. I can't see, oh god! But Primus! Well, he's shooting blanks. So I've folded up the launcher to give you an idea of what he looks like with the launcher folded, and I think that works better. I would very much approve of there being maybe a tab attached to the front here, so it just doesn't lift up whenever you pick him up off the shelf. Same for on the back, but I can understand the back. The back, okay, the back is fine as is. But like I said, I'd like to see a tab in the front. The face, as I said, is really kind of ugly. And, oh, you can move it a little bit. Ah, man, that is tight. The face, as I said, is more of an adult version of Nightscrem, or the version we got in the show, doesn't work for me. I still think it looks like a weird combination of bad 90s hair and a chimp's face. I don't know why, it just makes me think of that. But overall, the robot mode is not as bad as the beast mode. The beast mode was truly horrific. I mean, the beast mode's bad. This figure, on the whole, is bad. It is not a good figure. It is not something that needs to be in your collection. In fact, it needs to be in a landfill somewhere, rotting, or, being used for target practice, or just, ugh. This is a classic example of a figure that the designers had a lot of ambitions for, but just didn't deliver on anything. I don't think this figure works on any level. It's not a particularly good-looking figure. It's not a fun figure. It doesn't have much play value. Its beast mode is horrifying. I mean, its beast mode doesn't look like any bat I've ever seen, and it honestly scares people who see it. This robot mode, it's okay. So, is this the worst figure of all time? One of them. I would say this is one of my most hated figures ever. I don't like this figure. I don't think it's a good-looking figure. I think that a customizer could do some real wonders with this. Maybe give it some good paint and a better head. That would be something. Is it worse than Transformers Armada Hotshot? Yes, I'm going to say this is worse than Armada Hotshot. It's more posable, I'll give you that. But it's definitely not a better figure. I sincerely hope you enjoyed this review. Please do the like, comment, and subscribe thing. And let me know what figures you think are the worst or deserve the title of The Beast, quote-unquote. Let me know what you think in the comments. I want to hear what you guys think are the worst figures of all time. Nightscrem is definitely one of my worst figures, along with Transformers, Armada, Hotshot, and a couple of other figures, which I won't mention yet. So just let me know. I'd like to get a discussion going. Catch you guys next time.